Spring 2026 is packed with brand new anime that could easily become the next big hits, and a few of them might completely take over the season. We're talking about a beautiful fantasy series from the creator of Violet Evergarden, a brutal psychological mind game anime animated by Madhouse, and a dark supernatural mystery from the legendary creator of Inuyasha. And somehow, those aren't even the most anticipated shows on this list. So if you're looking for the most exciting new anime coming this spring, this list has you covered. Because the anime at number 1 might completely steal the spotlight this year. Let's count them down. Agents of the Four Seasons, Dance of Spring. Imagine a world where spring suddenly disappears, flowers stop blooming, winters become longer, and nature slowly falls out of balance. That's the idea behind Agents of the Four Seasons. In this world, every season is protected by a special guardian called an agent. But one day, the agent of spring suddenly disappears, and the entire world loses the season of spring. Years later, the missing agent, Hinagiku, finally returns, and now she has to restore the cycle of nature. And a big reason to watch this, it's from the author of Violet Evergarden and animated by Wit Studio, the studio behind Attack on Titan. So visually alone, this could end up being one of the most beautiful fantasy anime this season. But if you want something more chaotic, the next anime has a pretty wild setup. MARRIAGETOXIN. What happens when a deadly assassin is suddenly told to get married? That's the idea behind MARRIAGETOXIN. The story follows Hikaru Jero, a highly skilled assassin from a dangerous poison clan. But instead of taking on another mission, he's given a very different task. He has to find a wife, because if he doesn't, his sister will be forced into a political marriage. So he teams up with Mei, a genius marriage scammer who knows exactly how to manipulate relationships. Now you've got an emotionless assassin and a professional con artist trying to find him a bride, which obviously leads to some very chaotic situations. The anime is being produced by Bones Films, so the action scenes should look really good. But if you prefer psychological mind games instead of action, the next anime gets a lot more intense. Liar Game. Imagine being invited into a game where you receive millions of yen. Sounds great, right? But there's one problem. The only way to keep the money is by lying, manipulating, and outsmarting everyone else playing the game. That's the idea behind Liar Game. The story follows a mysterious tournament where players are forced into dangerous psychological games built around deception and strategy. No fights, no weapons, just pure mind games, so every round becomes a tense battle of intelligence. And the anime is being produced by Madhouse, the studio behind classics like Death Note and Monster. So if you enjoy strategy-heavy shows like Tomodachi Game, this could end up being one of the most intense anime of the season. But if you prefer fantasy stories instead of psychological battles, the next anime takes us in a very different direction. The Warrior Princess and the Barbaric King. Seraphina is known as one of the strongest knights in the West. So when she's sent to defeat a powerful eastern tribe, everyone expects her to win easily, but things don't go the way anyone expected. She loses the battle and is captured by the tribe's mysterious leader. At this point, she prepares for the worst, but instead of executing her, he proposes marriage. What starts as a political situation slowly turns into a story about two completely different cultures trying to understand each other. With fantasy action, political tension, and slow burn romance, this one could end up being surprisingly interesting. And if you enjoyed shows like Free Aaron or The Ancient Magus's Bride, you might want to keep this one on your watch list. But if you want something lighter and more wholesome, the next anime goes in a completely different direction. Gals Can't Be Kind to Otaku? Takuya is the kind of student who usually goes unnoticed in class. He's shy, quiet, and spends most of his time watching anime. Meanwhile, the girls sitting in front of him are gyaruous, loud, popular, and the complete opposite of him. So naturally, he thinks they would never want anything to do with him. But one day, a small conversation reveals something surprising. One of them might secretly love anime too. And suddenly, the worlds of gyaru girls and introverted otaku culture start colliding in some very awkward but wholesome ways. Instead of heavy drama, the series focuses on fun interactions, awkward moments, and slow character growth. So if you enjoyed shows like My Dress-Up Darling, this could end up being a really charming rom-com. But if you want a rom-com with a supernatural twist, the next anime has a pretty wild setup. Mistress Kanan is devilishly easy. Kanan is a demon with a very simple mission: infiltrate a human high school and devour human souls. Sounds easy, right? But when she targets a normal student named Yoji, things go very wrong. Instead of stealing his soul, she somehow ends up dating him. and that's where things get really funny. Now, Kanan is secretly a demon trying to learn things like love, emotions, and human relationships for the first time. Meanwhile, Yoji just thinks her strange behavior is part of her personality, which leads to a lot of chaotic and awkward moments. So if you like shows like Kami-sama Kiss or My Monster Secret, this could end up being a really fun watch. But now we're entering the top 4, and the next anime has a pretty crazy premise: Kill Blue. Imagine being one of the most feared assassins in the world, and suddenly waking up in the body of a middle school student. That's exactly what happens in Kill Blue. The story follows Juzo Ogami, a legendary hitman who has never failed a mission. But after being stung by a mysterious wasp, the 39-year-old assassin suddenly turns into a teenager. Now he has to infiltrate a school while stuck in a kid's body, which means he has to deal with dangerous missions while also surviving things like homework, classmates, and school life. Watching a deadly professional struggle with teenage problems leads to some hilarious situations. And with the Great Pretender director behind the anime, the action and style could be really fun. But the next anime has serious hype behind it, especially if you recognize the creator, Daemons of the Shadow Realm. This series comes from Hiromu Arakawa, the legendary mangaka behind Fullmetal Alchemist. And honestly, that alone is already a good reason to pay attention. The story follows twins Yuru and Asa, who are born with the rare ability to control powerful supernatural beings called Daemons, but the two are separated when they are still young. As they grow older, their lives take very different paths. Eventually their paths begin to cross again, and that's when the mystery behind their powers and the world of Daemons slowly starts to unfold. The anime is being animated by Studio Bones, so you can expect really solid and fluid animation. So with a legendary creator and a strong studio behind it, this is definitely one you should keep an eye on. But if you're looking for a supernatural story with a darker mystery and historical setting, the next anime might be exactly what you want. Mao. What if one accident suddenly sent you 100 years into the past? That's exactly what happens to Nanoka, the main character of Mao. After falling through a mysterious portal, she finds herself in Japan's Taisho era, where she meets a strange exorcist named Mao. But Mao isn't just fighting random spirits. He's investigating a series of supernatural murders, all connected to an ancient curse. And somehow, that curse might also be connected to Nanoka's past. As the story moves forward, the two get pulled into a dangerous mystery filled with demons, curses, and dark secrets. And here's a big reason you should pay attention to this one. The story comes from Rumiko Takahashi, the creator behind classics like Inuyasha and Ranma Half. So if you enjoy supernatural mysteries with a historical setting, this is definitely one you shouldn't miss. Before we reveal number 1, here are a few other anime that also look interesting this spring. Scenes from Awajima. This one is set in an elite music academy where young performers chase their dreams while dealing with rivalry and intense competition. Petals of Reincarnation. In this series, people gain the powers of famous historical figures, turning every battle into a fight between reincarnated legends. Aaron the Southpaw. This one follows two aspiring artists, one struggling to prove himself and the other a natural genius, as they chase success in the art world. The Food Diary of Miss Maid, a cozy slice-of-life story about a maid discovering the joy of Japanese cooking. And now it's time for number 1, and this anime might completely steal the spotlight this spring. Witch Hat Atelier. This is easily one of the most anticipated fantasy anime coming this spring. The story follows Coco, a young girl living in a world where people believe only a few are born with the power to use magic. But one day, she accidentally discovers the real secret behind magic, and that discovery completely changes her life. In this world, spells are created by drawing magical symbols, which makes magic feel almost like art. And that unique magic system is one of the reasons the original manga became so popular. Instead of traditional spells, magic feels more like creating something beautiful on the page. The manga is also famous for its incredibly detailed artwork and its rich fantasy world. So if the anime manages to capture that same atmosphere and visual style, this could easily become one of the standout fantasy anime of the year. And honestly, this is one you should definitely keep on your watch list this season. And that's the lineup of brand new anime you shouldn't miss this spring 2026. Now I want to hear from you. Which one are you most excited to watch? And is there any upcoming anime we didn't mention that you're looking forward to? Let me know down in the comments. And if you want to see which anime sequels are coming this spring 2026, check out the video on your screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.